Oops, the mic was on the ground. Fell off. All right. So this is a review of my RTY long trade. Messed it up this morning. I think the contracts just switched because all my drawings are off now. So gonna have to bear with me on the drawings. Um, but anyways, I was looking long on ES and or sorry, I was looking for a long on basically anything because I did think we would draw higher. ES wasn't clean for where I'd want to get long, but on the Russell and on the Nasdaq, we did come into areas where I would want to get long. Um, Turns out I messed it up and got long here, and there were signs to exit here as the Dow Jones broke out into all-time highs, and there was a divergence here. Um, uh, with a what was the divergence? Oh, ES took out this high. Um, was it this high? Yeah. So ES took out the prior swing high, the London high, and also Dow Jones was breaking, well, had already broken out and swept the all-time highs and was selling off. So as we were up into here, here's the 1 minute. This is where my long was. Down into here. Nailed the long. Perfect trade. Entry, at least. An idea. Um, and I was debating exiting here, and I didn't because of those reasons. And flow was bearish. We had reason to reject on ES, and Dow Jones was already rejecting, as you can see, creating an SMT there. So that was my signal there. This failure here, and then the lower high again. Um, this was my signal to exit. On top of that, the flow was bearish the whole time, and I was above my reason to sell profit take area in 4R. I was above 3R the entire time, and I should have exited 80%, if not more. There was two obvious strong reasons to sell, and I didn't. I've been barely trading the last few weeks, so it's kind of been that's kind of why I'm a little rusty. Um, Kind of hard to get back into trading and have so many variables that I'm keeping an eye on. And so I just was a little rusty there trying to balance like, how important all of these things were, and because my targets were these obvious relative equal highs at the minimum. If not this high, because if once we took this high out and we started to, then then I would have actually really taken a look at everything else, and but because we hadn't taken out a certain level, I was kind of waiting for something to happen before I exited, and that was the issue. We were already above a good profit take and held on to way too much risk. This was a break-even trade, so I didn't take a loss, but in my mind, it was a bad trade because I should have made money on it. And because of that, another setup did happen later where Nasdaq finally set up for me, and I wasn't there to take it because of that reason. Um, though the flow, I was watching it, but the flow was bearish still, and I wasn't super confident with that either. So this is playing out now again, but um, either way, messed up that long there, and I um, should have made money on this trade at least roughly 3R if I had left a rudder on, and that did get stopped out break even. Um, so yeah, that was a big mistake there. Um, would have been great to come back with just straight back into winning again like I used to. But that's how trading works, and If anything, it's actually pretty good because I did manage my risk. I moved my stop at least, and I, that's why I moved my stop was I was into 3R, and I was like, I'm not gonna lose money on this. So there's that. I did that well. I did read the flow well. I was like, this doesn't look good, and the problem with that was I just failed to realize how that was a reason to sell, and I just wasn't really taking it seriously. Um, Again, just because I'm a little rusty. Um, but the other thing was the setup was just clean. This is my classic setup. Um, so wouldn't be surprised if we did come up eventually to take these ties still. And what was the other thing? Let me just look back at my write up here. Yeah, there was three reasons. ES took this buy side liquidity, SMT on YM, also SMT on ES and Nasdaq, bearish SMT. So that's what played that next short, which I could have, I could have gone short on Nasdaq there. Um, would have been risky, but at least I could have hedged by taking profits all out right there. Just knowing that we would possibly reject, if not high probability that we would reject a little bit more. So, but yeah, I'm still reading the flow really well. I'm still able to see this. It just did hurt taking the missing out on the win. Um, just because it always feels good to win and all that work I put in. It felt like a lot of work that I put in this morning to catch the trade and it just didn't work out. But that's just because it's been so long and it's but at the same time, I think it is good that I actually did have this issue. Just because it's good to remember the reality of trading, especially as I get back into it. So I'd rather take this honestly early on rather than getting overconfident because I just happened to get out, because I just was following my gut. And then 2 days later, I don't move my stop and I just build a bad habit from whatever. I can still see the good in it, obviously. So yeah, it was good. It was a good setup, good trade, but the executions and the trade management weren't good. Should have taken profit. I gave this a D plus because it was a setup. Not like I wasn't taking something that was terrible. It was totally there. Um, and I just failed to get out at the right area. So yeah, this was a good reminder to for me to refresh on like, okay, what is a reason to sell? And I think that was the issue is I kind of forgot what do I look for get out. And ES taking this high, I think that is the most obvious reason. Um, that was so clear, and I didn't even first of all I didn't even see that and take note of it. Um, and then with the bearish flow and the yeah, so that one was just whew, glad I broke even on it. Luckily I nailed an entry and my playbook's built out enough to really protect me when I do make mistakes like this. Because I didn't lose any money. But yeah, on to the next trade, and I've already written this up, and yeah. Anyways, that's it.